Go Nagai is an impressively notable manga and anime creator who got his start in the 1960s. There's plenty of notable works of his you might recognize at least by name. Some are pretty tame, like Mazinger Z, others are occasionally risque, like Cutie Honey, and then there's the super envelope pushers like Go-Go 13 and Devilman. One such creation of his is perhaps lesser known, but not completely foreign to Western audiences, known as Violence Jack. First created as a manga in 1973, the title is pretty blatantly almost exactly what you were expecting it to be. Murder, rape, evisceration, a seemingly endless supply of nudity. This series has almost everything you could be looking for if you're in the market for ultra-violence. The story takes place in the year 1970X, at least in the original manga, when a tremendous earthquake hits Tokyo, separating it from the rest of Japanese society. Citizens of Tokyo must now fend for themselves, as Japan and the rest of the world has seemingly abandoned them rather than trying to rescue or reconstruct. In this new age of vicious power struggle, one giant sharp-toothed, scraggly-clothed beast of a man appears, simply known as Violence Jack. He exists not to destroy, but rather to protect those deserving of his protection who simply cannot protect themselves. Basically, this scary giant fights on the side of justice. And when he fights, by God does he ever fight. But we here in the US never saw much of Violence Jack, aside from 3 video OVAs originally created in 1986, 88, and 90. We first got hold of Violence Jack Evil Town from Manga Entertainment on VHS at the end of 1988. To speak of this release specifically is kind of painful. For starters, the first OVA we got was actually the second one, not the first, and the second one we got was the third, and the third we got was the first, so, you know, nice going there, Manga Entertainment. Aside from that, each OVA had its fair share of censorship. In the case of this one, Evil Town, several minutes were cut out of an OVA that was only about an hour to begin with. I can't really say why. I mean, after all, we still see plenty of nudity and intense graphic violence, not to mention the dub is pretty atrocious. I guess that's to be expected from an anime that was localized in the late 80s, and admittedly fans were just grabbing at just about any anime they could get, so it's not like they were terribly much complaining. Supposedly, since then, Violence Jack has had an uncut US DVD release under a company labeled Critical Mass, a title used by Right Stuff so that they could be sneaky about selling something so violent. But good luck finding this uncut gem anywhere. My search has only pulled up bootlegs. So for the moment, I kinda have to put up with the crap dub and slightly edited Violence Jack Evil Town. Ugh. $8.95? Seems like too much for the value of this thing.